Hi guys, this is VengeanceTech, and today I'm playing on the NightOwl server. Um, well, what I want to show you guys real quick is what I've been working on, and I'll kind of head over that way. What I've been working on is a mob drop spawner and a sorter system for the item drops. And actually, I'm going to show you something real quick first. This is the Agilent's library. He actually built this. Actually, I worked on something in here. Kind of show you real quick. This right here is a hidden a hidden staircase that's operated with a book. And what you do is you throw your book in here, and the staircase opens. And you can just head downstairs. And he's going to actually have a better book selection down here for enchanted books. I'll kind of show you a little bit of the redstone wiring. Pretty much what it is, I'll kind of show you, is a set of pistons. There's a piston up here that pushes a block this way, and a piston here that pushes a block that way. That kind of blocks off most of the stairs, but in order to get that first step, what it has is a block swapper. This is a block swapper that I've used quite a bit, and it's very simple to build, simple to operate. Pretty much what it is what you see. You have a signal coming in here. This has to be a momentary signal. Comes up to a torch. The torch powers the pistons. The repeaters power these blocks on the side, which actually powers the dust above. And it also activates this torch. And the way a block swapper actually works is when it gets a signal, it drops this center piston, and then these repeaters actually delay the signal slightly. And what it does is when this piston drops, it actually forces the pistons to actually retract for just a second and then power again. And what happens is, since there's a block right here, what happens is that when this piston starts pushing, it basically makes it so this piston can't push. So what happens is that this block gets pushed into the center, and then it gets pushed up, while the block that's actually pulled down from this piston gets pushed into where this piston pusher rod would normally be. And that's pretty much a block swapper. I'll give you a view from both sides. It has a torch on this side and dust above. And this torch is very important for this design because what it needs is basically like a double pulse. Basically what it does a redstone update on this piston so that it doesn't try to basically fire all the time. I can kind of show you if I have some redstone, and I don't. Well, I'll do a quick build in a creative world. I'll kind of show you this, and it's pretty simple, but it's just a basic block swapper. And this right here is a sequencer. A sequencer is done with hoppers, and what it does is it has a single block inside, and what it does is it basically travels around this hopper chain, and basically it has signals coming out of each hopper except for one back here. This has like no operation. So all I needed was 3 steps to do the doors. So I have 3 outputs. One actually operates the block swappers, and then it does it twice. Once to open it, once to close it. And this one right here actually powers both these pistons, which actually retract the stairs, and it retracts a bookshelf that's directly above. So it pretty much works. And all this right here is, with this chest and hopper, it is an item sorter that is designed to just look for a single book to pass through this thing. When it gets a single book, basically what it does is when it has more than 22 books in here, and it gets one more to 23, what it does, it sends a pulse out. that actually powers this piston, which actually powers this circuit, which actually powers this piston. This signal actually jumps down below, and it allows this sequencer to actually operate. And it spins, well, basically a half sequence. It spins from this point to this point right here. And then the next time it activates, it goes from this point to this point. And then it has a really interesting control circuit right here. What this does is, it is a double pulser. What it does, it sends a single pulse to this right here, which basically opens the door, and this one right here actually closes the door. That way when you run up the stairs, it actually closes. Now, I could do a tutorial on this if there's any interest, but this is kind of a circuit that's just designed for just this one application. So, you know, if you want to see a tutorial on something like this, leave comments. I'll give you a really nice slow look at it. That way, if you want to try to reproduce it in your own world. And kind of show you up here. Basically, it's this is a comparator. The redstone signal comes out here to that torch, which actually inverts the signal, and it stops the hopper flow. And all that is just a sorter. But that's pretty much it. And I'm going to show you what I spent most of my time on. Kind of show you the operation of it. Basically, when it gets a signal, it makes the stairs, and then it closes. So you can only, you know, basically get down here, and then you have to basically pay another book to get back up. But we'll head back up. And I'll show you what I've spent most of my time working on. It is the mob drop. And the mob drop is actually, it's very similar to my enchanted armor spawner, with a few changes. What I did is I actually got this one kind of, you know, half buried into the ground, and this one has a really nice sorter on it. Kind of head over this way, and you can actually see the mobs because it's in an unloaded chunk. As soon as it loads, you can kind of see everything. This one actually has 7 layers. We'll kind of head over this way. Kind of eat. I actually put a farm up on top of the building. Basically an automated farm. What that does is it actually drops melons down into the mob spawner, and what that does is it should actually speed up the mob spawner just ever so slightly. And what it basically has is 4 melon plants in the center. That actually activates it, and then it has 8 plants on the outside, which actually grow a melon that is actually going to be dropped down into the spawner. I do have a little bit of cleanup to do. I have an infinite water source that I got to get rid of. And this is pretty much a completed project. Kind of head down to the underside. And I put some nice, you know, fire lighting. All that is just netherrack and some fancy, you know, stairs. Put a kind of a belt line out of wood out around it. And, you know, if you've actually been on a server with me before, I like to build like little wells and stuff like this as kind of a quick entrance. Show you the mobs coming up. This is up the elevator and down the elevator. If you're curious about what texture pack I'm actually using, I'm currently using the Faithful 64 pack by Highteen. This is an unreleased pack, so you know, if you want it, you have to actually take the the 1.5 version of this pack and add a few textures to it to to basically make it into a 1.6 texture pack. And what I did is I actually I cleaned up the glass here, so it doesn't have the glass, and I'm using the standard font as opposed to the font that actually comes with it. The reason is that with my version of Java, it actually doesn't display the fonts correctly, and that's just a problem on my end. So that's why I'm just using standard fonts. Anyway, I'll kind of show you down below. This right here is the quick drop. Of course, there's mobs in here. This is basically the same spawner pad as my enchanted armor spawner. You kill the mobs, and all the items get run into the sorter, and the sorter is actually set up to sort gunpowder, bones, arrows, string, and rotten flesh. And then all the overflow ends up on this side, which is all the armor and the melons that actually come down. And you can actually see that this has kind of gotten a lot of use. These center chests are probably all empty. But eventually, with more use, this will all get filled up. And I actually did a little bit of sorting in here. Sorted out all the gold armor. I'll have to do that again, you know, if I am down in this area again for a while. Kind of move all this gold armor into the later chest. A lot of people are using gold armor as opposed to, you know, fabricating their own, you know, for like builds and things like that. But I'll kind of show you things. And I added, you know, my customary fireplaces. I do a lot of these fireplaces. This is a waste and discard fireplace. You just throw your items in there and they disappear, they burn up. Kind of show you this over here. This is my enchantment room. And I'll throw a few more books in there. I'll actually throw that in there too. And this is a small enchantment room. And I'll show you the sorter real quick. That way you can kind of see it. This right here is just a disposal. It just chucks the items into this area and they just despawn after a few minutes. But up here is the sorters. Now I'm using this design for the sorters as opposed to a compact version. The reason is that the compact version of the sorters actually use more redstone than this design. What this does is it basically uses a comparator. Every sorter uses a comparator. And then it basically has you know, a redstone dust, another redstone dust, a repeater, a redstone dust, and then a torch. There's a torch underneath this hopper. The way this works is it checks the inventory of this hopper right here, and as soon as the hopper has more than 23 items in it, right now it has 22 items. This redstone signal, actually, well, there it just went, actually reaches this point, which fires this repeater, which puts power on this dust, which takes power off of that torch, which allows this hopper to allow items to actually flow through it. So when there's more than well, 22 items in there. Let me grab some items real quick. It basically just allows items to flow. We'll just grab a stack of gunpowder. This is what I've been working on the NightOwl server. Oops, wrong one. Put it in this one. And basically it's just going to allow items to flow until it's basically back down to 22 items. And if you guys want a tutorial on, you know, how the sorter works and, you know, how to build it, you know, please again leave comments. Definitely going to look at the comments. But basically all it is just, you know, 5 sorters, and the other side's overflow. You know, there's no sorters actually on the other side. This right here is just a control circuit for this really small item elevator. All this item elevator does is it just lifts the items up and gets it into the hopper chain that's above. And you know, back here is another set of hoppers underneath here, which actually allows you know, to do a resort if you don't want, you know, your items. Say if you pick up some items that, let me see if I got any, like that bone there. All you'd have to do is just dump it in this sorter chest, and it'll eventually work its way. I'll throw some arrows in there too. It'll eventually work its way into this chest. You can see the arrows are actually coming through right now. Grab a stack of arrows. But anyway, that's what I've been working on the NightOwl server. If you like this video, please definitely, you know, leave a like, leave comments, and subscribe. And again, this is VengeanceTech, and I'm gonna actually post a link to Algin's. Excuse me. We actually call him Goofy on the server. But I'm going to post a link to his channel, so you can check out his channel too. And again, this is VengeanceTech. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.